Dream team. God, it's so quiet when it's just one person. There you guys are. Hi. Hey, everybody. How's it going? It's just going to be me tonight. And if any of you remember what happened the last time I hosted one of these, we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but it's not going to happen tonight because Mr. Chris McCullum has helped me just to pointing out what I did differently then and stuff compared to what's going to happen tonight. So we're going to talk about something that everyone always wants to talk about tonight, which is advertising and everything about advertising. So hi, guys. So settle in. So I just wanted to point out, just as we'll wait a couple of minutes. Nicole, hi. Hi, everybody. Rawan, hello. So just because I am just by myself, it's a little bit more tricky because, as you can tell, the chat roll goes really fast. So we're going to have time for questions at the end. But I usually, when it goes that fast, I don't have quite the ability to catch everybody's. So, and I don't have somebody to kind of, help me out here. So this is what I'm going to suggest: to save your questions for the end. And then also, if you put your question in there, usually shorter questions that are less complicated instead of really long ones to get, seen a lot quicker. And but if I miss your question, then just wait a few minutes, and in a few minutes, just put it in again. And if I've totally missed it, then I welcome you guys to send me a private message to, if it's really that burning of a question. To be really honest, I would say try and go to your mentor first. If your question doesn't get answered tonight, go to your mentor first. And if you can't find the answer with them, you're welcome to send me a private message. I may not get back to you immediately, but within between tonight and tomorrow, then I will. So, okay. So we're going to talk about advertising tonight. I'm going to share the slides. Okay. Actually, before we do, let's talk about some good stuff. I know I love it when Mike does that. So let's get into the habit of that. Anybody want to share something good about their business? Some small successes, big successes, milestones, sales, leads, whatever you guys want. Someone that maybe did a video for the first time. Someone got a buyer. Sandra, yay, awesome. Angel, yay, awesome. Awesome. Hey, Angie, 5 leads. Got a lead today. Lorraine and Fred, awesome, you guys. That is really cool. Yay. Oh, Kelly got a distributor. Awesome. That's really great. Submitted your funnel, Lori. Awesome. That is great, you guys. Really good. 67 leads in almost a month and 1 buyer. Lizel, that's great. Awesome. So remember, you guys, like the big goals are not going to happen until we acknowledge all the little goals, right? So all these little, little steps to, acknowledge. It's really important to acknowledge all these little steps too, because that's what's going to equal all the big stuff too, right? Awesome. Funnel approved, likes campaign running, Jennifer. Awesome. Testing is off. Awesome. I'm still a bit blurry. Is that for everybody? Because my screen's coming up kind of pixely, but still okay. How's the audio? Audio's okay? Good as okay. All right. Well, then the less I move is better. Okay, then I'll keep that in mind. Thanks, guys. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sharing the slides, okay? So you'll see less of me and more of the slides. All right? Okay. And does everybody see the advertising slides? Are we good? Yay. 75 leads, Gloria. Awesome. Okay, we're good. So let's get going. We're going to talk about advertising tonight. All right. So tonight's topics is laid out here for us. Ads as an extension of attraction marketing, because that's what we're doing, attraction marketing, right? A likes campaign and organic likes versus regular likes. The different levels in an ad. So we've got the campaign level, the ad set level, and then the ad level. Different types of ads. And we're going to talk about targeting, which everyone it loves to talk about, monitoring your ads, and then we're going to do questions at the end. So again, if you can spare the questions for later, that's probably best. All right, so your ads are an extension of your brand. And if you don't know what your brand is just yet, it's hard to figure it fully out in the beginning. And remember, your business is growing and it's going to evolve. But your brand is really about you, your values, your passions, your goals. You know, it's not, that's when you think about the brand of, you know, Apple or Starbucks or Nike, they have a very specific kind of set of values or things that they're known for, right? So that's kind of same for us too, and we're all individuals, right? So, and your ads are an extension of you, exactly what I just said. Your ads are not selling a product or water machine. So as you guys have noticed, right, anybody's business page should not have products, should not have an adjective on them whatsoever, because that's not what we're doing, right? We're offering a system, we're offering a business through our own brand. And your ads are attracting others to your own online business. Or sorry, your ads are attracting others to own an online business. Absolutely. And your ads are attracting people to click the link for more information. Absolutely. Or even message you. I would add that as well. To connect with you on some level, whether it's through your link or to connect with you personally with a message. And finally, your ads are attracting people to learn more about the online world. Absolutely. Because that's the thing too, is that most people have no idea how to run an online business. A business in the online space works very differently, and we're here to teach them, right? Are we good so far? Just a couple of yeses. Everyone's seeing the screen and yep, awesome. Great. Okay, moving on. Now, before you run an ad, this is really important, guys. I don't know if you've noticed, but in the training, there's about 10 tabs to go through one by one, okay? That are all before even setting up your first ad. So do not skip them. It's not going to be magic where you just run an ad and it's just going to be like you throw an ad out there and everything starts to happen. You have to really take everything that's under that category of advertising one by one and just pay attention to it, right? Okay, so before you run an ad, be sure that you have your page seasoned with quality posts and engagement of who you are and what you're doing. This is really important. And I'm gonna say this a little bit more bluntly this time, you know, to say that whether I think people mean it or not, the fact is that if you allow your daily posting on your page to get really sloppy and lazy, meaning you just think, well, I'll just post, you know, every other day. And then every other day becomes once a week. And then once every couple of weeks. That doesn't look good for people that are snooping your page. And believe me, your leads are snooping your page. Not only that, but your activity or a lack of activity on your page actually has a very direct result to your like your ads and your as how Facebook views you, because it's about building and maintaining credibility with Facebook. Right? There is no shortcut here, remember. And, you know, the posting is supposed to be fun. It should be. Before you run your ad, be sure to also run a likes campaign or an engagement ad for 2 weeks. Now, this was a little different for me, like, because traditionally, since I started, it was always, you know, make sure you run a likes campaign for 2 weeks and then you can do an engagement ad. I did double check with Chris on this, and he said that you know, he's old school, and so is Karen, like me too. I still think it's better. Like you can do either or. However, it's still a lot better to stick to the training, of course, and do a likes campaign at least for a week, if not 2 weeks. 2 weeks is better. It really is. And then do an engagement ad, you know, for a minimum, gosh, at least a minimum of 2 weeks after that, because you're also warming up an ad account. And so what I teach my own people is to run a likes campaign for 2 weeks, exactly like the old school way. Exactly. And then it's really about getting your feet wet, because again, guys, there's no shortcuts. The more shortcuts you try and take, you are going to shoot yourself in the foot. Trust me. Okay. No, Shannon, not for every ad you put up. This is when you have a brand new account and a brand new business page, it's cold. It needs to be warmed up, right? So you need to warm it up and build that credibility with Facebook, because at the very beginning, Facebook still doesn't know if they can trust you. You're still kind of a little bit under their watchful eye, and it's about building, warming that ad account up. Now, just as another example, kind of linked to that, I had my ad account shut down once, and what I had to do is when I went to another ad account to use it, that other ad account was cold. Now, even though I had been running my business for about a year at that point, still that other ad account was a brand new one. So I had to warm it up again with a 2-week likes campaign. So I just, as if I was brand new in a sense. So my page was still, seasoned and everything else, but my ad account still needs to be warmed up. You cannot just start running an ad on an ad account that hasn't been warmed up at all. You just can't do that. Otherwise, you're just going to risk getting shut down or something like that. So, okay, moving on. And make sure, of course, you follow the training. Guys, I know that we say this a lot, and I know we sound like parrots or broken records, but the reason why we say this every time is because there's always reason to. There's always a good handful of people that think that they know better than the training, or they get too excited and impatient. And I often tell my own downline, excitement's great. Keep the excitement, but excitement doesn't need to be impatient. You can still be excited and be patient and trust us that we're not going to lead you astray. Because a lot of us, we're not all on the same team here, but a lot of us, like your mentor, for example, and your coach and whatnot, you're financially connected to each other. So we're not going to lead you astray because we want you to succeed. You succeed, we succeed, remember? So you got to trust us. If we're saying don't skip steps in the training, we mean it. Because we want you to do well, and we want to celebrate along with you every step of the way, right? So yeah, follow the training, really follow the training. Okay, parts of an ad. We've got the ad campaign level. Now, this for newbies can be a little confusing. I often find this a little bit hard to describe without a visual. So thank you to Chris and Karen. They have given us a visual. So this is kind of a snippet of what we're seeing right now, as if we're looking inside an ads manager, right? And normally the ads would be right down here. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor, but we've got one tab called campaigns. The other is called ad sets. And then this other one on the far right is ads. So the first one is the campaign level, okay? And we're going to explain them a bit. So the ads campaign is where you name your ad and you choose the type of ad you want to run. Now remember the name of your ad and use the same name for the following 2 folders. So I'll give you guys a little tip. This is what I do when I keep track of my ads. And I also, by the way, I don't know if you can see my picture down here, I keep track of my ads just in a regular notebook, okay? Because I change things. Whenever I do a new one, I do new targets or new locations and stuff like that. But the naming of what they're talking about here, what I do is I just, if it's a video, for example, I'll just write video, BC, Alberta, W for women, 35 to 50. So I know it's just targeting women, the location, and the age range. Or another one would be, let's say, slideshow, Toronto, London, Hamilton, or something, or maybe I'll just put Ontario, all for men and women. I'll just put all because it's shorter, and 33 to 53, or whatever it is. So at a first glance, I know exactly what the ad is when I'm keeping track and in my notebook. And every single tab, this is what they're talking about here. Keep it exactly the same so that it makes it much easier for you to track and follow. Okay. Now the ad set level, this is the one in the middle. So when you're actually building your ad, this is the one where, the real fun part here, where you get to choose all the little details and stuff. And when you're in Ads Manager, after the ad is actually running, it's going to actually be right here, the middle tab, okay? Now the ad set, make sure you use the same name as the ad campaign so that's easier to track. So just what we had said before. And this is where you choose your audience. Your audience can be anything you want it to be. And we like to make this real simple. There are many variations. 1 province, 2 to 3 provinces or states, but avoid choosing all of Canada or all of the United States. The reach is just simply too broad. So I'm going to explain something here. The reach is basically the number of people that Facebook is saying potentially you'll be able to get with that budget that you set. And that reach, if it's too big, like if you choose all of the United States, you're going to pick like, oh God, it's going to be like however many tens of millions. Like it's just going to be way too big. Even Canada, like Canada's a smaller population as a country, but it's still far, far too big. I've never, ever done that. And the reason why that makes a difference, guys, is because look at it this way. I always tell my downline this, is that when you've got your ad budget for that particular ad, it's the fishing net that you're using. And the audience size is the water. The audience size is the water, body of water that you're fishing in. So if you've got one of those little tiny little fish nets that you use for an aquarium at home, which is like maybe say like a $5, let's just say a $5 or a $7 budget for a particular ad, then why would you be going and fishing in the Atlantic? Why would you even go and pick like 5 million or 10 million? You're going to be waiting forever to see results, and you're going to be paying every single day, waiting and waiting. And that's just not the way to go about it. So it's got to kind of have a good, decent ratio. So, like for Canada provinces, quite often you can do, BC and Alberta together, a couple, because they're smaller, smaller populations. But like I advertise in California, for example. California is way too populated for a state. So I never choose the state. I always go for neighborhoods because they're smaller. Okay. And also choose an age range that fits 10 to 15 years of yourself. Again, it's a way of attraction marketing, because picture this. I'm 44 or 43, but 44 this year. There's no reason for me to target 25-year-olds. First of all, they're not going to, more often than not, they're not going to have the money probably to invest, but more importantly, they're not going to be, relate to me because I'm older, right? Likewise, I'm not going to choose 60. And generally, I try not to go above 55 because, again, they're not going to relate to me. It's all about how when someone looks at you, they're going to want to, even if they're not thinking about it, it's about relating to you, right? So, okay. And targeting will be discussed later in the slide. Okay, good. Because the targeting is also at that level. Now, the final level is the ads level. And again, in Ads Manager, see if we were looking in Ads Manager, this is kind of what the ad would kind of be showing here with the data, and this is the tab on the right, okay? This is the area where you choose the actual ad that people see, like a video ad, a story ad, or a picture ad. So you can choose your type of media for this, and this is where you would do it. There are many ways to do this and explain it. We like to keep it simple. What we found that worked for us was keeping it real. Casual conversation through an ad, real photos of us in a picture ad, or a funny story that referred to things that we love. I can kind of tell that this was Chris and Karen because it totally sounds like them, and I agree 100%. Yeah, I like to keep it simple. Personally, I don't love story ads myself because I find them way too long. Guys, if you are going to do a video for your ad, keep it really short, like really short. My very first video ad was 5 minutes, and it's way too long. Even 3 minutes is an eternity in the online space. Keep it to a maximum of 2 minutes. But I worked my way down and down until I hit my goal of hitting it at 1.5 minutes, and that's the ad that I have running right now, and it's doing well. And it's hard at first, but it's worth it because you want people to watch to the end, right? But yeah, just photo ads work really, really well, and like outdoor lighting's wonderful. It could be a picture of you on an, on an outing at the park or whatever, a picture of your family, like just stuff where you can see you, seeing you being happy in the photo, obviously, and with your loved ones works really great. And ideally, you want to share within your ad that you are working online. So this is important too, because what I found with a lot of people in their either in their video or in their ad copy, they kind of go la 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 la, and then by the 5th paragraph, then they get to the point of it's an online business, and by then your audience is gone. You want to kind of get to the point a lot sooner. That would be my advice to you. That's a little tip, because people don't have that kind of patience. You want to get their attention with the headline and, you know, get to the point kind of right away. Okay, tips for ads. Bright colors and photos, 100%, 100%. And that goes with, you know, as far as if you're, you know, if you're wearing a brighter colored outfit, even just your shirt, if you can tweak the photo as we can with our phones, come on, like now we can do all sorts of things now with filters and stuff like that. Beware of length of videos, as we just talked about. Long is not better, less is more, absolutely. Scripted versus polished. This is an interesting one. So I'll explain what it means. Okay, when you're doing a video, I know it's hard to think about, oh, I want to say the right things. I want to cover this and whatnot. So what I know a lot of you may do is write out an actual script. Now, for the majority of people, this doesn't come across as the results in the video doesn't kind of turn out as well, because unless you're capable of making that kind of memorized script sound natural, which most people don't do. Like, I mean, I'm used to it because I'm an actor, and I know a couple people in my downline that I'm surprised, like they actually can do it very well. But the majority of people, when they are memorizing something, it kind of sounds robotic like this, and then it makes it sound like it's very unauthentic. Boom, you've lost them. Like, it needs to come from the heart. And that's what this is talking about here. Polish just means, you know, just express yourself, express the ideas that you want. You can actually put Post-it notes or whatever, depending on where you are. But the more scripted it is, you know, you might think it's better, but it actually, you know, what I would suggest that you do, if you want to practice it, do a video, and just, of course, especially in the beginning, send it to your mentor for some feedback, because they may give you some really helpful feedback that could just help polish it up a little bit. But generally speaking, scripted isn't usually the best way to go. Landscape versus vertical. I'm going to show you right now. You guys can see the image on the bottom, right? Okay. So when you're doing a video, here's Fonzie. When I'm doing a video and I'm filming myself like this, what you're going to get, okay, I know it's cute, right? What you're going to get is, as a result, when you do the video, is these, first of all, you're cutting out all of the if you're doing it outside, especially, like, get the landscape in there, get the behind, like that's attractive. That's going to get people's attention, right? You're going to get an ugly set of like lines on either side of you, and it's just really narrow, and it's hard to watch. When you're filming your videos on your phone, do it this way. This is landscape. It's going to get a much better, more appealing, easier to watch, and attractive video in the end. So horizontal like this, not like this way. Okay. Background noise and environment. So this is especially true, you know, if you're doing it outside. So if you're near, you know, streets and stuff, try and find a way that's tucked in, maybe in a park or something, because you'd be surprised that those noises can really, really interfere, especially if you are maybe a soft-spoken person. And steady camera, use of a tripod is a good investment. You can get one, I think, for even just $40 or something. And of course, a selfie stick, that can always help. And if you're at home, you can just set it up somewhere where it's leaning against something. I even did one outside once where it was just like tucked in a tree and it wasn't moving. So it was great, right? And then make sure you look at the lens. Okay, I'm going to show you guys something right now. Okay, are you ready? This is the difference between, if I'm talking to you like this, can you imagine if this is a video and this is an ad and I'm actually paying money for this every single day to get people to buy in? How impersonal is that? Versus if I'm talking to you like this and it's connected and I feel like I'm actually talking to you, for like, isn't that better? And I know it seems really unnatural, but practice it. Make yourself get used to it. It's just a matter of looking at a dot, you know? Just whatever you got to do to get used to it, just get used to it, because it's going to make a world of difference. Okay. Okay. Where are we on here? Types of ads. Ready for the types of ads? We got a likes campaign. So likes campaign, especially at the beginning, of course, of your business, is designed to get people to like your page. Now, I want to add something in this, because what I honestly believe, okay, is the main biggest objective when you're doing this is at the very beginning of your business, is the main objective is to build credibility with Facebook and to warm up that ad account. Second objective is to get likes. So, and I'm saying that because I believe it to be true, and any of the other 6As out there, after they see this, they can disagree with me if they wish, of course. But the reason why I say that too is because a lot of you guys, if you get it mixed up in your head and you think it's just for the purpose of likes, and you're disappointed with maybe how you didn't get as many likes as you wanted, you still did a really good thing because you're starting your business at the beginning. It means that that likes campaign, if it ran for 2 weeks, which it should have, then it still did its thing. It warmed up your ad account. You know, many start their business with a likes campaign. That's what we teach, right? And engagement ad. This is another type of ad that is designed to get people to engage with you. So there's no pixel and there's no learn more button. It's about just getting them to reach out to you in order to get information, right? And start a conversation. You know, if they want to start a conversation, you can do that. People are going to engage with those that they know, like, and trust. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about building trust. Many of you only use engagement ads to attract people to their business. That's true. So the whole thing on engagement ads, you know, I mean, it works for a lot of people, and you know, I think that's wonderful. I do have some people on my own team that it works very well for. For me personally, I gave it a very long, fair shot. It didn't work for me terribly. But I still, you know, say that in the beginning, after your likes campaign, engagement ad is a really good way to get your feet wet. And if you find it works, awesome, then you stick with it. And otherwise, beyond that, as you get a bit more experience with advertising and stuff like that, you can try different types of ads. When they do, you can invite them to like your business page. Oh yeah, these are good kind of organic likes. Those are the kind of likes that you really need. Now we got a conversion ad. So a conversion ad does need a pixel, and conversion ad is where you see the learn more button. And what happens is that your link is going to be embedded behind that button. Whatever you do, guys, do not add your domain in the ad. Do not add your domain in the ad copy. You don't need it because it's already kind of built into it. So the conversion ad is used to directly generate leads. Some people want to engage with you still. I get a lot of engagement with conversion ads too. And some people just quietly just kind of slip into your funnel and they don't want to really talk. It's up to them. Often interested people will ask for more information, for which there are saved replies for in the training. Yeah. Your only goal is to get people to the webinar. That's the purpose of this, right? Is to get them to the webinar through your link. Okay. Oh, Chris has a rant here, guys. Lately, many coaches have noticed that potential distributors have already been briefed on the products and the pricing without understanding the various strategies of getting involved. What are we talking about here? This is something that bears repeating because it keeps happening, just like people skipping the training or skipping steps in the training. So what he's talking about is that we keep hearing as coaches that you guys are talking to your buyers about product and about pricing and about financing. And we just want to give you I'm giving you right now, a cyber slap on the wrist, because you guys are shooting yourself in the foot because you don't have the training. You don't know all of the details that could actually not only get you a better sale, but actually help that new distributor in a much, much better setup, in a much better way. Okay. So if they ask you questions about that, just refer them back to the coach. Okay. Rant over. Targeting. Specifically, I will get back to, I don't know what's everything's going on in the chat room. Maybe I should take a look here first. Yeah, it's not good, Colette. Guys, remember, questions, try and save them for after, okay? Because I can't get to them all right now. Okay, so I'll get to them in a bit. Specifically, you want to keep your targets as specific as you can, not too broad. So here's a couple of examples. Malbec wine is a really good option in this example, rather than just wine. Because if you look at the targets also when you're choosing them in your ad, the number of interests that are associated with it, if it's in the billions, nuh-uh. If it's in like the tens of millions, that's not good either, right? Here's another example. This is a specific type of golf shoe, I'm assuming, FootJoy golf shoes rather than just shoes, because again, it's a bit more direct and more specific. Related topics connected. So, for example, Callaway golf clubs, FootJoy, Pinnacle, Wilson golf clubs. This is a whole arena I don't know anything about, but rather than just Callaway golf clubs and then randomly mixing it with Log Home Stain, mixing it with baby kittens, mixing it with mascara, it's just, it's not going to work as well. And I would agree with that. And I've never actually used baby kittens or mascara for a target myself. Okay. And target you. Remember, attraction marketing. Target, within that age range, 10 to 15 years of you, your area. Try your area, guys. Your interests. It all comes back to attraction marketing, 100%. Okay, monitoring your ads. How often do we monitor our ads? Because I know some of you are really like obsessive. And then some of you just run an ad and then forget about it. And then, I've asked people on my team in the past too, like, so how are your ads doing? Oh, I don't know. And then they come back and say, well, I can't believe I was charged this much and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, did you take a look at your ads? Well, no, I started it 2 weeks ago and now I just check now. Well, you don't want to let it run for 2 weeks and not even look. But at the same time, you don't want to be looking like several times every day either. It's kind of somewhere in between, right? So definitely not daily and definitely not monthly. Some people try and do it weekly. For me personally, because I try specific different strategies and stuff like that, there are some days where I'll just take a quick peek, but other days where I just kind of let it go for a couple of days and then, but I guess it'll just depend. Oh, going back, I missed one. Okay. What are we monitoring? Cost per lead, that's an important one. Your relevancy score, your reach, and your number of leads. Let's kind of go through them a little bit. Your cost per lead is important. So what I've noticed is that the speed in which your leads start to come in will be a partial determining factor as far as this cost per lead, okay? So for example, if I start an ad tonight and I don't get a lead until Saturday, I wouldn't leave it that long anyway, but if I don't get a lead until Saturday, I can guarantee you that that cost per lead is going to be so high, so high. So in the same way, on the flip side, if I start an ad tonight and I get my first lead in the first hour, and then the next lead comes in a couple hours later, guarantee you that that cost per lead is going to be much lower. Relevancy score, it's really, really simple, guys. Okay? 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all great. Relevancy score of 6, just keep an eye on it because it could go up or it could drop. Okay? So 6 is just monitor. 5 or under, get rid of it because it means that people are hiding your ad and there's a little bit of bad feedback. You don't want that. So you don't want to just take a risk and leave it for a long time. The reach, we kind of talked about that already, which is kind of the whole audience size. No, in this case, it's a little different, I guess, is like the reach and like how the amount of people that your ad is actually being shown to. So if for example, I start an ad tonight and the reach is already at 300 within a couple of, I don't know, like it's 3-4 hours, that's a really good reach. That means that the algorithm's real quick. It's really fast, right? And then the number of leads, obviously. If I start an ad tonight and I don't get a lead for like 4 days, that's not good. That's definitely not good, right? Or if the ad was doing really well and then it started to trickle off and it was only getting 1 lead per day and then 3-4 days in a row with nothing, and that, like, no, it's like that's where you kind of need to make a decision on just getting rid of it and starting again. Okay. The relevancy score, I saw that question. It is in your ads manager. It's in your ads manager, and you will only get a relevancy score once your ad has reached, gotten a reach of 500 or more. As soon as it hits 500, then that's when the score kicks in. Before then, it will not show up. Okay, so you have to, if you have to, I guess you would have to wait until then. So, seeing a question here. Can you please discuss the learning part of an ad? Should we leave it running until this is completed? Also every month? No. Sorry, Leanne, I'm going to have to come back to that can you put that in again after, or just kind of break it up because there's more than one question there, okay? Keeping data. Okay, this is important, guys. Facebook's going to give you data about how your ad is doing, but I'm going to show you an example. If you can see, kind of like it's a small little window, okay? It's an example here. This is what I do. So I write the details of my ad, and then my targets and stuff like that. And then I actually write the dates, and then what actual amount of leads that I'm getting on each day, not every day, but like every 2 or 3 days, that kind of thing and whatnot. So just keep a record of it somewhere, because as soon as you do get an ad that's really either not working at all, you don't want to repeat the same stuff. And if it's working really well, then that's something to take note of, right? If you're getting leads, add to your budget. So what you can do, if you're getting leads coming in consistently, you can increase your budget. And how much you increase your budget, you want to make sure that it's in smaller intervals. So, you know, I've heard different numbers thrown around over the last couple of years. 10% is probably the safest. 15% is probably the highest that I would go, but I have heard people sometimes do it at 18%. But I would only increase your budget like maybe every 3 days or so, no less than that, because when you do increase your budget, sometimes you need that algorithm for the next 24 hours to kind of kick in and get, you know, get it used to the new algorithm again. So, and if you're not getting leads, okay, if you're not getting leads, change it. You got to change something. You don't wait forever. And no, you gotta do something about that. Change the thumbnail. You can change the tagline or the headline, or you can actually change the ad copy. Or you know what, you can change and some other stuff. You can change the targeting. You can change the location. There's so many different ways that you can test. And don't give up. You guys, I see so many people in the main hub on Flocks saying, oh, I've been testing. You've been testing for a month or two? No, that's not testing. You think that that's testing. That's not testing. We're always testing, every single one of us, okay? So what that is that you guys are being impatient. You're giving up, and you're not testing in the right way. So that's when you need to, if you're frustrated with anything about advertising, what you need to do, and not all the time, but you know, obviously attending these helps, but talk to your mentor and say, can you do a screen share with me on a quick Zoom and take a look at my ads for me? 15, 20 minutes, and you guys can review some stuff together, right? That can really help. And testing is like continual, guys. It's all the time. So don't get frustrated with it, because we all do it. We all have to do it. And it can be fun. It really can. If you want it to be, it can be. So this is really cool. See March 2018 in the Mastermind archives titled McCullum's Success Strategies. There's a PDF shared of a tracking sheet. I remember this. It's an example that may work for you. So you can actually download it and print it and actually take, or I don't know if you can do it on your computer. But anyways, it can really help. For me, I just like to freehand it, but you guys can do that. I'm not sure exactly when in March, but March 2018, it'll be there, okay? What do I do if I'm getting leads on my ad? Nothing. Don't touch it. In other words, the only thing that you can do is increase the budget. But that's it. Don't change the targets. Don't change the location. Don't go into an existing running ad that's getting leads and change anything, because you are going to mess with it, and it's going to then start to go, yeah, like, it's like jumping in front of a freight train and wondering, why did it stop? Don't do that, guys, okay? Increase your ad budget. That's the only thing that on an ad that's getting leads consistently, that's the only thing that you can change, that you should change. Everything else, no. What do I do if I'm not getting leads on my ad? It happens to all of us, by the way. It's not just newbies. It happens to all of us. Whenever, because remember, if we're all testing, some things just don't work. Sometimes, like I have a winning ad that I'm using in different locations. I know it works. So sometimes it's an algorithm thing, or it could be just a target thing, or a location, or a combination of the three. But I know at this stage that that ad works and it converts. But if it doesn't actually get me leads in one particular situation, then I need to do something different, right? And I did change it. Bingo. McCullum's 114. So on that same mastermind. This is important, guys, especially for those of you that are new, that came in to the community kind of at the very end of last year or this year. This is a really, really good mastermind to watch in the archives. Because if you don't know what 114 even means, then you need to go and watch this. Chris and Karen did a fabulous job. And I remember the reason why they did this mastermind was because Mike said, you guys have hit, so much success in such a short period of time. What's your strategy? A 114 just goes back to those different levels of basically when they're creating an ad, in the final ad level, basically duplicating it, and they show you and talk about, well, they talk about how the different variations of doing a 111, a 112, a 114, and so on. And by creating 4 duplicates at the ad level, you're actually giving that campaign 4 different chances to hit a home run. Sometimes you'll get one within the 4, and sometimes not. Once you're at a more advanced level, you can also check out Amy Ting's one from, was it last year as well, where she talks about the phishing strategy. It's similar to this one, but different and more, and again, more advanced. So, but it's really cool because it gives your ad more opportunities to succeed. So you've got 1 campaign, right? 1 ad set, just like we talked about, and 4 ads, 4 ad copies. So how I like to put it is that each of those have the same DNA. They're kind of like quadruplets. They're all got the same DNA. They're all connected, like they have the same everything, but they're all individual, right? And one of them might be a dud. This one might be okay. This one might be getting leads with a good reach, and this one might have nothing. So then I'm going to know, oh, it's a good thing I made 4 of them, because this one's the winner. I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to delete everything else. That's a simple, quick version. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's something where you will get to. But you guys have to watch these masterminds in order to kind of get there and learn it. Okay? But it's worth it. It's so worth it. Okay. Summary questions and answers. So let me just stop sharing if I can remember how to stop sharing. There. Okay. 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 Solo woman here. Let's do some questions. And remember, there's only one of me. Okay. Do we have the ad running in the initial learning stage before we change it if we are not getting any leads? I didn't quite understand that. Sorry, guys. I got more than 100 leads in almost 2 months, but none of them turned to a buyer. Is that normal? You know what? It's really just about filling your funnel. You got to fill it and fill it. 100 leads, you know what? It's different for everybody. For one person or 10 people, 100 leads could result in a buyer or maybe 2 buyers, but for someone else, it may not. For other people, I know that's taken them 200-300 leads to get a buyer. It's what I would say is that, it's a matter also of measuring it with how long you've been advertising. You know what I mean? Like, you got to put all of these kind of things together. So if you've gotten 100 leads, but you managed to get 100 leads in just a month, holy, that's amazing. Then it's just been a month, so just wait. But if it took you, 6 months to get 100 leads, then I would say, okay, that tells me that you haven't been advertising consistently, so you need to keep at it. So it's what I would say, whoever asked that question, just make sure that you bring all of those details to your mentor and you ask them, because that's some things with ads, guys, is not just a matter of black and white. You kind of need to give your mentor in order to help answer that a little bit more than that. I know it took me more than 100 leads before I got my first buyer. I know that. See here. Guys, this is way too fast, so I'm not going to be able to get it at this rate. So what's a help? Yeah, see, it's going way too quick. Facebook won't approve any of my ads. We could have been back on. Yeah, so when it comes to ad disapproval, that's where you really have to take a look at your ad first, maybe with the help of if you're new, definitely with the help of your mentor, because if you may be violating a policy. And if that's the case, what you need to do then is change the ad. But if you know for certain that you're not violating a policy, then all you do is you continue to appeal it as many times as it takes to get it approved again. Likes but no leads on my engagement ad. So the relevancy score is 10. That's really, really great. So Cicely, that's a lot of likes. That's awesome. So are you saying you have no leads on your engagement ad with that many likes? You know, like if it's not working, you can try and be creative, you guys. Like, don't forget, like, I know Darren said this once before, like you can actually put a reminder for the workshop, like right in the comments. Look at all the people that have liked your ad. If you guys are running an engagement ad and you have tons of likes on it, but nobody's biting and nobody's, you know, like throw a quick little video together for 30 seconds and just say like, hey, just wanted to give a friendly reminder that we have another workshop tonight, blah, blah, blah. Or you don't have to do that. You can do it just as a written or just with a photo or something and put it in the comments because they've liked it. That means that they're going to get a notification. You can put your link in the comments. You just don't put it in your actual ad, right? You can try and think outside the box, get creative with it, right? So certain things like that can really help. My mentor said he needed to change his landing page before his ads got approved. Yeah, you guys, Facebook is always, a lot of people have kept saying that it's the landing page. Mike has said over and over and over and over and over and over again, it's not the landing page, okay? Well, who you're talking to when you're actually appealing your ads is someone from Facebook who's just a rep. They're just the middle guy, right? You got to speak with, you know, if that's what they're saying, you can't just say, you know, it's not the landing page. Like, look at the reason as to why your ad isn't being approved, because it could be a totally different reason, right? For example, if it's one of those, it's saying that it's get rich quick, blah, 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 and then they say it's also your landing page, then you can specifically say, there's a disclaimer right on my landing page that says very clearly that this is not get rich quick. If you want more detail, there's even more in the actual policy, what's it called, the disclaimer link at the bottom that goes into even more detail that it's not get rich quick. So I would like you to take a look at my ad again, and I would like it to turn back on, please. Simple as that. What level do you duplicate? So Kathy, you duplicate at the ad level, not the ad set level, at the ad level, okay? But if you're not sure, then you can definitely ask your mentor. So if you duplicate at the ad set level, you're actually going to end up paying more for that, because remember, when you're building your ad, that's where the budget is, right? So you want to do it at the ad level, the third one, right? And what that's going to do, I'm going to give you an example. If you had a budget on that ad of $10, and when you duplicate it at the ad level, making it a 114, you're actually creating 4 copies with that are, what is that, $10 at $2.50 each. So it's taking that whole budget for the campaign and splitting it evenly between those copies. So just remember that, okay? That's no matter how many. So if you do it with 3 times as a 113, it's going to be whatever the math is on that. If you do it as a 112, it's going to be $5 each. Okay. Trong, I'm not comfortable with the 139 conversion optimized budget of the campaign, so you don't have to. Oh, sorry, maybe that's for something else. I love, you know what, for when you're ready. I mean, I just want to put a shout out again to Amy Ting, because I have to say, when I first saw that mastermind, it confused me, and it kind of not scare me, but it kind of concerned me a little bit, because of sending all of the copies into review at the same time. But I started testing with it, and I love the phishing strategy. I really do. I don't recommend it for new people, but once you get to a certain point in your business, I would say probably by the 2nd month or so, then, you know, talk to your mentor about it. But I've been getting good results with it, really good results. And I love the idea that within a 24-hour period or less, I can actually find out if this ad is worth keeping, so I don't have to wait longer. That's what I love about it. So Amy, if you do see this, thank you very much. But I've been telling my downline to do it when they're at the right point in their business. And the ones that I've told that to have also been getting results as well. So what is the difference I don't get that. There's no cost that way. So it's showing that I have 2 website leads today, but I didn't get an email from Infusionsoft. Well, sometimes the communication is a little bit slow. Like, I've noticed that too a few times. So you may find, who asked that, Caroline? So you may find that sometimes as you're watching your leads appear in the ads manager, but you're not getting the notification emails. It's just, you know, 9 times out of 10, you'll probably get them the next day or something. But if for whatever reason it's been a few days and you're still seeing that, what I would do is just talk to your mentor about it, because maybe it's, or even just put it in the flock, because if you might not be the only person, it probably won't be. Maybe it's something that we need to kind of deal with. It happens before. I mean, welcome to the online space, guys. It just happens every once in a while, right? So, whoa, fast. Hold on, slow. What's a good ad budget to start? Diane and Kim, every coach, well, I say this on every coaching call, got to start with a $10 a day budget. $10 a day budget with the room to grow, because you cannot have a growing, scaling business on $10 a day at the 6-month mark and the 12-month mark or whatever. I tell everybody before they're even a distributor, $10 a day split off into 2 $5 ads so that you can learn about ads faster, okay? And then from there, this is what I did. I did $10 a day for month 1 and month 2. Month 3, I went to $13 a day. Month 4, I went to $15 a day, and then $17 a day, and then $20 a day. I increased it like that so that my ad account was getting used to it. I didn't set off any alarm bells with Facebook, and I was applying what I was, this is important, I was applying what I was learning to everything as I was doing it. So the combination of what I was applying as well as the increase of the budget was getting me more results, because it's a combination, guys, of like ad budget, an increased ad budget will make a difference, but at the same time, it's how you spend your money. It's not always, not just, you know, how much, because you can spend, you know, you can spend $20, $30 a day on ads in the wrong way and throw your money away, or you could even spend $15 a day and do it really, really well, okay? Just find the average of leads you get per day. So that is not an easy one to answer. Everyone always asks that because they want to know, is this what's normal for the amount of leads? That has more to do with, again, how much you're spending on that ad, and also kind of the timeline a little bit too. So like if you were, let's say if you had a $5 ad and you're getting a couple of leads a day on that ad, I'd say that's okay. That's fine. I wouldn't be alarmed by that. But if I'm spending, because I mean, I've been doing the business for longer than you guys, but if I'm spending $25 to start with on one ad, one of my ads individually, and it was getting like eight leads a day, and then, you know, fluctuating, because it does, the algorithm, right? It happens to all of our ads, right? But it's getting 8 leads, and then 5 leads, and then it goes back to 10 leads, and then 6 leads, and then it goes to 5, and then it goes to 2, and then it goes to 1, and then a couple of days of nothing, and then 1, and then 2-3 days of nothing. To me, I know that because it started off really well, and also because I'm spending $25 on it, that 1 lead a day is not worth it. So it's, you got, again, not a lot of black and white answers here. You got to measure it with all these other things. That's the best way to kind of really learn and apply what you're learning. If you're getting 1 lead a day and you're not spending a lot, then it might be fine. But you can, I know people that are still getting more than just 1 lead a day with a really low budget. So there's nothing that you, I mean, you can definitely try different strategies too, guys. This is what I think one of the things that makes a good entrepreneur. Don't be married to one idea. Don't be like if you've got an ad that's bringing you only 1 lead a day. First of all, if you're spending, I would say $7 or $8 or more on that ad, I don't think it's worth keeping that ad for only 1 lead a day. But anyway, like don't be so afraid to get rid of that ad because you don't want to lose on that 1 lead a day, because you're worried if you kill that ad to start something else, you might be losing out. Like, don't get married to one idea. You know that you can always go and try something else, right? So yeah, we got to kind of learn to kind of say goodbye to, like, and I know it's hard, because I remember one of the first few times when I was new, deleting an ad just felt like so kind of so wrong in a way. Now I'm just like, I look at it, I'm like, oh God, I don't want to spend money on this anymore. Delete, done. And then I move on and I make another one, you know? So when you do a 1-1-4, do you leave all the targets the same in those 4 duplicates or change them? Okay, this is my understanding. First of all, I leave them exactly the same, because remember, changing things in an existing running ad equals messing with it, right? The other thing is that what I found by accident one day, And I could be wrong, but this is what I found, is that when I went to change something, because I was kind of silly and experimental in my first few months, I changed something in one copy thinking that I could just kind of do something different, and it changed it in all of them. So I would just leave it, just keep them the same. And you're not going to keep them that way forever. You're just going to do it for a time to test to see which is the strongest. And then you kill the weakest and you leave the strongest to run. So when you set targeting, let's say for $10, how many people in that targeting? That's a great question, Emmanuel. So personally, for a $10 ad, I'm not talking per day, but per single ad, I would not go above 1 million. I like to keep things on the lower end. I don't know if someone else that might be a seasoned person that's watching this that might say something different, but to go large is not going to serve you well, because remember, $10 budget is about your fishing net. That's your budget. And I'm not going to take a smaller fishing net and go and swim in the fish in the Atlantic Ocean, because I'm just going to be waiting forever, right? So I would keep it at a max 1 million. That would be me personally. But generally speaking, like I would more purposely for $10 choose something like even 700,000, 800,000, something like that. Should you delete an ad that is not producing before starting a new one? That's a really good question, Kelly. Okay, so there's a couple ways that you can do this. So if your ad has some kind of, let's say, bad karma or bad something connected to it, it's got a really low relevancy score and you just have to get rid of it, or it's just, it's got flag words in it, and maybe it got through, maybe it got approved, but then your mentor saw it in their newsfeed and said, it's got like 5 flag words, you better kind of get rid of it. You have to change it. Like you have to just delete it, right? So it depends on the situation. But this is something that I do. So maybe if I can share my screen, I bet I could show you guys something. But what I like to do when an ad is going well, when it's going well, I still test, because I test in other ways. I'm not testing necessarily new ad itself, but new areas, new targets, right? But what I like to do is transfer the social proof. And I know that this exists in the training. It's a really cool trick that saves you some time on an ad that's doing really well. I don't know if how many of you guys know about this or not, but there's a way that you can transfer, like basically you've got an ad, let's say your ad is fine, but it's just not, maybe the targets need to be changed, or you want to try a different city or whatever. So what you can do, you've got an ad that's been running maybe a week or so or whatever. It's got some likes, loves, comments. You don't want to lose that, because as soon as you delete that ad and you start from scratch, right, you are going to be starting from scratch. You need to get that seasoned again and all of that stuff. And when you're needing to change your ad, that's fine. But if the ad is fine and you just want to change targeting and stuff, you might as well try and just save yourself the trouble, because remember, an ad that has some social proof on it is going to be kind of going to get you results faster. When people see your ad in their newsfeed, they don't want to be the first one to click. They don't want to be the first person if it's got nothing there, right? So if they see like it's got tons of likes and some shares and some comments, they're going to be like, oh, interesting. And you've just got their attention, right? So I wonder if I can successfully share my screen here. If I can't, then I don't want to experiment and like go all like wonky on, maybe not. Okay, because I can do it on a Zoom. But anyway, there is a way to do this, guys, and it's really handy. I do it all the time, and it saves so much time. How many days do you leave the 114 before you start deleting the weakest? Michelle. Actually, the mastermind that Chris and Karen did talks about that. So they give their, the part of the brilliance of what they suggest in that mastermind, it has to also do with the timing of that. So I can't remember exactly what they said, but it's something like, if it's a 112, it's something like, I don't know, just like 2-3 days or whatever. If it's a 114, remember what I said, right? If it's a $10 ad, for example, and it's $2.50 on each copy, if you're doing a 114, then remember, it's going to maybe take a little bit longer because you're not giving it a whole lot of budget per ad, right? Or per copy. So I think for those ones, the suggestion was to leave it longer, for something like 7 days or whatever. But for more like a clear kind of package of the whole message, go to that mastermind because it's so worth it. No problem. Can you use social proof from an engagement ad to a conversion ad? No, I've tried. You can't. It has to be within the same type of ad to do the transfer of social proof. Yeah, and the other thing too is that when you're talking about the reach of your audience, try not to go too small of a reach with too big of a budget, because someone brought this up, I think, from what I am understanding, and that's a very good point. So for example, I would not do on a $20 ad, I wouldn't do like 300,000 people, because I'm going to burn through that so fast that what will end up happening is that, because it's just not enough people for a $20 ad. So what Ads Manager is going to show me when I look at it is that all budget spent, and it's only like 6 hours into the day. I'm like, so it's got to be a good, decent ratio between what you're, so if I have a $20 ad, I'm going to do like 1.5 million up to like maybe 2 million. I would never do 2 million people for a $10 ad or on a $5 ad ever, so it's got to be kind of make sense with that kind of ratio. Thank you. March 7th, 2018. Yes, thank you. Lise, I hope I'm saying your name right. Lise Robinson. Yay, thank you for that. Please explain how to keep the social proof. Okay, this is something that needs to be a show and tell, Dawn. It needs to be a show and tell, because otherwise it's just kind of no point to really telling you. But essentially, in a nutshell, it's you're going into your, and this is going back to someone's earlier question. So if you have an ad and it's not working out very well, the ad itself is good. Social proof, great. But the issue is maybe just targeting, location, or whatever, okay? What you would do is don't delete it, keep it for a little longer, and you just have to go into the body of the ad by clicking on edit, and you go into the last screen, the ad level when you're inside of it, and you have to get the post ID. And that post ID, you want to copy and paste it somewhere safe. Then you can go and delete your ad. And then when you go, you can actually start from scratch like you normally would. You create an ad from scratch. Everything's the same. And when you're creating the ad in the third section and the third screen at the ad level, you actually, that shows the video and the training will show you how to do this. You take that post ID, which is usually about like 7 or 8 digits. It's just a number, like a number of like, looks like a phone number or whatever. But each ad has its own unique one. You copy and paste it there, and you will see your ad pop up with all of that social proof. And it's like, oh, cool. And then you go back in and you then choose your new location you're targeting and stuff like that. But you got to watch the video and the training so that it walks you through it, because you don't want to be clicking on things, guys, that you don't know. Every time you click on something, especially in Ads Manager, you should know why you're clicking on it, because if you're not sure, don't click on it. The social proof technique is a training under advertising and is titled How to Reuse Facebook Ads with the Most Social Proof. Jennifer, thank you. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Is that a dark post? Oh, good question. So a dark post is it's another name for a conversion ad, basically, more or less. That's the short of it. Did anyone have a question? I'm sure there were that I didn't get to. Can post them again. Here's some, I thought Facebook was going away from the horizontal. Really? How come? That's news to me. I have no idea why that would be. I've never heard that before, Dan. Traffic ads, worth it. I'd say, I don't know who's calling me. Traffic ads, you know what? There's different kinds of ads. What we're talking about, right, like post engagement, conversion. There are other type of ads too, like traffic ads is one, lead generation, message ads. It's really just about like what works for you guys. So this is what I would say. If you're a newbie, and then most of you are, that's why you're here, you got to start with engagement ads to get your feet wet. And after that, it's your decision. You're the business owner. Some people want to stay within post engagement ads, and that's great. Some people want to venture off into conversion and whatever, but like, Mike and Darren have always said, like, you got to test things and make your own decision about, and maybe your mentor is one of those that, has tested a lot of these different things and can say, traffic ads is not something that I've tested, so I can't really speak about it. I have tried, a little bit of lead generation. I don't love it myself because it requires putting in the information for people and stuff. There's some pluses and minuses to I think almost everything. Message ads, I think, works for people quite a bit. It requires a lot of engagement, so that's a good thing. But I think it's just one of those things where you can learn about it. You can, I personally have not done traffic ads to comment on that, to be honest. So, oh, thanks, Teresa. Once you whittled the 114 down to a winning ad, how long do you sit on it if there are no leads? This, well, Jennifer, that goes, I mean, that's kind of like a question that we can ask for any ad, right? Again, it has to be measured with a lot of different things. Like if your score was 7 and all of a sudden it dipped to 6 and it dipped to 5, well, that's kind of answers it for you. You don't keep it. If it, you know, when it comes to leads, you know, again, if it was one of those ads where it was pretty steadily bringing you in like, you know, 3-4 leads a day and the budget was, you know, $10, that might be fine. Again, some people for $10 on a different ad might get more than that, some less. I think it's about looking at the, like your ad is an organic thing. You want to look at the pattern that it gives you. Also, if you haven't gotten leads for like 2 or 3 days, I would pay a little bit more closer attention to it. Like just in the sense that it could just all of a sudden spike up. That's totally happened to me. So I don't delete an ad just because it's had no leads for a couple days, because I know that sometimes if it's over a weekend, for example, then I know that weekends are slow. Sundays, maybe not so much, but like Fridays and Saturdays are slow. Long weekends are slow. Certain times of the year could be slower. So you have to just kind of measure all of that stuff and watch the pattern of it. But if I'm not getting enough leads on something for like 3 days or something, then 4 days maybe. But again, if the cost per lead goes really high for me, I don't even wait like 2 days. I don't even give it that long, because I'm looking at that cost per lead and I don't want to spend too much for it. So a winning ad suddenly stops converting for 2 days after I edited my landing page. Do you think editing my landing page? Oh, I didn't fully get that. You don't need to edit your landing page. Well, unless your landing page has like a really bad, you know, picture of you or something. But I don't think that that's necessary. I think if it's not converting anymore, I don't think it has to do with the landing page, especially if all of you are now up to date as you should be. You're all getting the same like really awesome landing page that is, in my opinion, a lot better than the one that we used to have. So it has fire your boss. Okay. Well, if you guys want to have something a bit more specific and your different wording on your landing page, you can just go in the training and get that changed. You'll have to pay for it, most likely, because the funnel team is busy, but you could get it changed if you want. Like for me, I got mine to say, you know, learn how I ditched my serving jobs or whatever. Yeah, but pertaining to me. So would you run 2 engagement ads at once? I'm just starting. Hey, Brenda. If you're just starting, like brand spanking new, I would run 1 first. And then after a week and a half to 2 weeks, then I'd add the second one. And then I'd just coast it 2. Coast it 2 for like, I don't know, like maybe 6 weeks or so. And honestly, you don't need to add a third one. I would just kind of coast it 2 for a longer time. But then instead of adding a third one, look at the ones that you have and then, you know, think about, do I want to do a different kind of ad? Do I want to stick with engagement? Increase the budget slightly, that kind of thing. All the new distributors are getting 2 styles on landing page. Oh yeah, there are 2 different styles of the landing page, but again, you guys, it's your business. You get to have a say. If you want it to be one or the other, you can say. If right now if it's split between the 2, then you can just let the funnel team know, I only want this one, you know? I'm running ads at $10 a day and got 2 to 3 leads a day. Is that good ads to keep up? You guys are asking a lot of the most similar questions. So Shernev Hernandez, again, it's like, well, what's the relevancy score on it? What's the cost per lead on it? I can't, like 2 to 3, as far as leads go, $10 a day for 1 ad. That's fine. That's fine. It could be better, but it also could be worse. That's where that, honestly, I know it's not the answer you're looking for, but that's more of like a your call thing. That's not a black and white answer. You know? What was your budget for advertising when you started, and how wide did you go? Well, I mentioned this already tonight, but I started at the recommended $10 a day, month 1. Month 2, $10 a day. I coasted. Month 3, I went to $13 a day. Month 4, $15 a day, and then $17 a day, and then around $20 a day, and I grew from there. But again, I wasn't just doing it willy-nilly. I was learning. I was really plugged in, and I was applying what I was learning. So obviously those two together helped. When you're doing a 114, do you have to have all 4 ads ready to go at the same time? Well, you're misunderstanding, Sayori. It's not, when you're doing a 114, it's one ad, one campaign, one, it's one ad, one whole ad, but split into 4 copies. So it's all, you know, the same DNA, remember? So you're just you're basically giving your one ad 4 chances to do well. And when you're watching it over the next, like, you know, a few days, you're going to see different reach. You may see leads on one and nothing on the others. So it's still one ad. So, so sorry, then that way I don't understand the rest of your question, but just to hopefully that clarifies it a bit. No problem, Colette. What time are we at? So we're at about 1 hour and 12 minutes. So I'll keep it going if you guys still have more questions for maybe another 10 minutes if you want. Let's see here. Thank you. No problem, guys. Super new at this, but I'm sure your information is going to help me a ton. So guys, also, if you're really new, remember there's a lot to learn. Just pace yourself. The biggest learning curve is advertising. You're not going to learn everything in a month or 2. Trust me, okay? You got to be patient. And if you're not, you're just going to, the very thing that we all want is buyers. We want distributors, because distributors are, you know, people that we get to work with, and that's where, you know, our money is made. But in order to get distributors, we need buyers. In order to get buyers, we need leads. In order to get leads, we need to work at it and to learn and to have patience. So if you're impatient, I'm going to say this. I hope you listen. If you're impatient, if you're one of those people, you are pushing the very thing that you want most away farther, and it will take longer. I promise that. That's one thing I can guarantee. If you're impatient, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to skip the training. You're not going to get plugged in or whatever. But if I promise you, if you're patient, and you can ask the people in my downline who have, you know, in all different ratios of months or whatever, and there's some of them are really starting to get some traction, and it's amazing. It's the same for all of us, guys. I didn't get my first buyer until like the 3rd month, and she didn't even stick around. You know, I did get some refunds, of course. Even in my first like 9 months, I got so many refunds, but it still took me 9 months to still get to a point where I could make up enough money to quit my 3 jobs. You guys have to hang in there, because what would have happened if I quit at 6 months? I would still be waiting tables. I'd be back in misery. So you gotta be patient, okay? Facebook video. Someone just shared a link. Whoever shared that link, put it again, because I think it went too fast. What's the benefit of doing a 114 to a conversion ad? A 111, Sue, right? So a 111 is you're giving your ad one shot. Now you've got all different kinds of algorithms out there, and so this one ad as a 111, for instance, is like, you know, it's like on a racetrack or whatever, or it's on a train track, and you're hoping that it's going to get some good traction, right? But you don't know, because even if the ad is good and maybe you have good targets, maybe everything is perfect, if there's such a thing. The algorithm is something that you can't control. None of us can control. So if it picks up a bad algorithm that's really slow, it's not going to do much. The benefit of doing like a 114 is that you're taking that ad and giving it 4 chances, and it's like a race. Which of these 4 little guys is going to win? And it's great. It's fun. You get to watch it, and it's like, okay, so this one, you know, I'm not saying you watch it like, you know, like obsessively, but like every 2-3 days you can take a look at it and see, you're going to see which one is clearly doing better than the others. And sometimes, as I was doing phishing strategies, there are some phishing strategies that I do that are like, remember, they're 1, 3, 9. So instead of a 4, you've got 9 copies. I've had some times where I've had none of the 9 copies do well, but at least I know within the first several hours, right? But the fun part is that you're giving it more than one chance to succeed, and you'll know in a hopefully a shorter period of time. You can still apply the same principle, Derek, on an engagement ad. You can. Just the only thing I would say, guys, if you're starting at the very beginning and you're doing a $5 budget, because that's what you're starting with, I wouldn't do a 114. It's just not worth it because there's not much money to go between each of them, right? At most, you could try with like a 112 and stuff if it's a $5 budget. But just remember the budget in relationship to doing those other types of strategies. So, someone said like a dartboard, Edith? Yeah. Brenda, you need 500 impressions to get the relevancy score. Yep. Okay, anything else, guys? I have an engagement ad running $5 a day. I would like to make the 114 for $10. How long should I wait to do the copies? Well, if you're jumping, Martha, if you're jumping from $5 to $10 for an ad, you have to take into account how long you've been advertising. Because if a person's only been advertising for like, even like their first week or something, I wouldn't make that jump. Because if you make that jump, I remember actually Chris and Karen saying that in the beginning, they decided that they thought they knew better than the training. It's kind of funny the way they tell the story. And they decide they pour all this money into this ad. What happens? Boom, they got shut down. So you can't make your, I don't know how long you've been running ads. So if you've been running ads for maybe a few weeks or several weeks, then what if you want to make the jump from $5 to $10, I think you can. It just depends on how much is your ad account really warmed up. And if you're not sure, I would say to just ask your mentor just to double check. Well, a lot of people on my team have felt better making the transition just like I did from kind of like $5 to like $8 and then to 10. So you could do that too. Where are you going to see your relevancy score? The relevancy score, I believe it should be at the ad level. So when you're in Ads Manager, you're not going to see it at the campaign level or at the ad set level, but it should be at the last one. I'm pretty sure it's the last one, not the middle one. Yeah. Decrease your budget and will affect the outcome. That's a really good question, Sue. Okay. This is my experience with decreasing the budget. The only time it may make sense, well, first of all, this is what's interesting. Every ad has a ceiling, like a cap in terms of the budget. And we don't know what it is. We'll only know when we find out. And I've had it happen a few times where let's say I started with a $15 ad. And let's say it's been running for like two months, okay? So consistently doing well, and I increase the budget, and I get to the point where it's at, let's say $22. And I'm obviously increasing the budget because it's proven that every single time I've done that, more leads pour in. And then all of a sudden it starts to do something else. It starts to go like this. All of a sudden the leads start to decrease. So what if I decrease the budget? So I try and decrease the budget. And especially because, again, if you're tracking it like in a notebook, like I suggested, you're going to see what point, and also I make a mark of when, what date I increase the budget and by how much. And if I can tell that, oh my God, when it was around $17, it was pouring in about 7, 8, 9 leads a day or whatever, I'm going to try and put it back there. Because if that's the sweet spot, that's what I want. And sometimes when you do decrease the budget in that sense, only after you've determined that's you've got a ceiling, you've met the ceiling kind of thing, then you may find that all of a sudden it kind of readjusts, So, but I wouldn't decrease it just to save money. That's not the right motivation to do it, but it does sometimes work to lower the budget to get a better result. Oh, thanks, Eunice. That's cool. Thank you. I'm glad you guys are getting something out of it. And if you do, like I say, you can give me a day or two to get back to you. But if you want to private message me with a question, you can. We're wrapping up soon, maybe another 5 minutes, guys. Or you can hop off, whatever you like. But trying to think anything else I can give you for little tips for ad stuff. Honestly, really have fun with it. I know, I think the biggest thing I want you guys to take away from this is that all the little detail stuff, it's all learning. It's all just about like facts and things like that. But the biggest thing that I want you to take away from this is patience and fun. It has to be fun, or because if it's not, you're not embracing it and it's not going to be enjoyable. You're just going to find it to be torturous, and it shouldn't be. And the other is patience, right? And I think they really kind of go together with this kind of thing. In the 114 targeted area will be the same, or we change that. I'm Roger. I think someone else asked that earlier, and you, they're all the same. Test, yes, Teresa, always. How can you, if you've been in the biz for 3 months, how can you increase getting more likes? Okay, good question. So I've been in the business 2 years, and I have run, I've lost count now, including my initial likes campaign, just like we all do, for 2 weeks at the very, very beginning. I've probably run 5, 6, 7, probably an additional 10 likes campaigns. So I did another one that was necessary when I got my ad account shut down to warm it up. But like I've also had other kind of cheaper likes campaigns going so that I could not just bring in likes, but just to kind of keep other ad accounts that I have that are lying dormant, that are not really doing anything. Just keeping them warmed up. In case I ever get shut down again, then I don't have to wait 2 weeks again. I can just jump in. God, I can't, you said before you can increase more likes. So anyway, to answer your question, Sue, like I always like to just, run small little cheap likes campaigns for that reason. But to get more likes, are you talking about for your page, or are you talking about for your ad? Because with an ad, it's just a really, for the page, okay. Then likes campaign, that's one way. Hitting your warm market, And what I mean by that is every once in a while, sharing something from your business page to your personal page. And I know for some of you that might sound scary, but you guys, the more you put it on, everyone's different. I'm not here to tell you that you have to, do it this way or that way. But I've heard so many times that when people put off doing that, someone that they might know has opted into somebody else's funnel because they had no idea that their best friend was doing the business. Or then remember, the people on your personal page already know, like, and trust you. So if they don't know that you're up to something and you're doing a business, why not kind of get their support? If you share something from your business page to your personal page, you can do it that way. And it's also just about time it takes to build your following, and that's where it goes back to one of the very first points we covered, which is being consistently active on your page, right? Putting content on there will bring more engagement. More engagement means more likes, not just for each post, but also for your page, because this is what I do. I can't, let me see if I can show you on here. Nah, it's probably too complicated and like the glare. But if you're working on building likes to your page, one way to do that, which is what I do, focusing on building engagement for your posts. Because if I have, let's say, 50 people that like a post, I can click on the people that have liked the post, and some of them, it's going to show me those people, out of those people, which have liked my page and which haven't. And the ones that haven't, I invite them to like my page. That's probably the best way to get the organic likes, and it's free. You don't have to pay for it. So running a likes campaign on each ad account, this is a personal decision. Sorry, I didn't catch the name who asked that, but it's a personal decision, because you don't want to spend, when you're in the beginning of your business, you don't want to spend too much, right? You don't need to be obsessive about it. For me personally, I was running out of ad accounts. I made a couple of mistakes in my earlier days, and I should have more ad accounts than I have. Let's just put it that way. And I don't. So I wanted to, the one I have is running ads right now, and I've got 4 other ones. And after that, I've got nothing, because my other business manager has been flagged. It's done. So I'm protecting those other 4 ad accounts by running a cheap likes campaign on each one so that I can use them when I need to. So, I only run them for like a $2 likes campaign on each or something like that. But when you're just starting out, I mean, what you could do, if you have the budget for it, what you could do is run an engagement ad on one of them. That's, again, cheaper. It's going to bring in likes and that kind of thing. It doesn't require a pixel. And then on your main one, you can just keep your main one, your current one that you're using for any other type of ad. So, or you could just do a likes campaign on one. But that, again, I would kind of have a conversation, maybe see what your mentor says. I don't know how many ad accounts you have, so it kind of, it's hard to really say. Yeah, see, Lauren's saying that she has she runs a likes campaign for $1 a day on her extra account. So when carrying over social proof, if the original ad was a story ad, can it be changed over to a video ad and still keep? No, it's, well, no, that's the one thing, guys. That's actually a good question. Thanks, Rose. So when you're transferring the social proof, it has to be within the same type of ad. So you can't do it from an engagement ad to a conversion, or a conversion to an engagement ad, or anything like that. And it has to, like, what you cannot change is the ad copy or the actual media. So you can't think that you can transfer the social proof on, like maybe the original one was a video and you want to use a picture now. Unfortunately, that's the one thing that that's rigid, that does not change. Like, you're stuck with the ad copy and that media, whether it's a video or a photo, that part doesn't change. So if you do want to switch the media or change your ad copy, and then you need to start a brand new ad from scratch then. Okay, I think we should probably wrap it up then, guys. Okay, so because we're going on 90 minutes now. So thank you so much for joining. And if you have more questions, then shoot them at me, but give me like 24 to 48 hours, okay? And just, yeah, but not like on a continual basis, because I'm a busy gal. So, and of course, ask your mentor too, because they need to be in the loop, you know, about what you're doing with your advertising. Alrighty? Okay, bye.